Good morning, Chad. It is Friday. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? Hopefully the audio should be sorted this morning. I don't know if Mo can give me some feedback on the audio. Mo, how's the audio? Audio good? Audio good. Okay, sweet. So we sorted out the audio. Today's session, we're gonna talk about, right about 9:15, we're gonna talk a little bit about psychology. And we're actually gonna record that and also clip it for the socials, so be sure to join in on that. So 9:15 we will be running through some psychology, and as many have requested, psychology is something that you guys want me to talk about. Neil, good morning. Leon, Ruben, how's everyone doing? How's the week been? Week been good? I hope it has been good. Alright guys, Friday. What a busy week in the markets. I feel yesterday there was so much opportunity. For some reason I did not execute. I did execute on GU, got clipped, and then price ran. But the analysis yesterday, I think if you go back to the daily analysis yesterday, the analysis was on point. I actually went to go and look at why I didn't take the shorts on the break of the Asia lows on Nasdaq and also US 30. But that is trading, guys. There will be times where you do not execute. I'm going to give it a few more minutes and then we're going to kick off with today's session, and then also head into the trading session. And as I mentioned, 9:15, unless there's anything on the charts that we can trade, I will be doing a little psychology segment which will also be recorded, and I'm looking forward to that, and also then answering some questions on the psychology side of it. Wayden, good morning. Good morning. Friday, and I think we're gonna head straight into it. So GBP retail sales came out lower than expected. Obviously yesterday, big surprise, Bank of England not raising interest rates. We've got the Bank of Japan press conference. I think this is ongoing. There's no time there, so I don't know if it's ongoing or whether it's happened. But in an hour's time, quite a bit of data coming out of Germany, also out of France, and then also the Eurozone. We've got some manufacturing PMIs, and then 10:30 we've got global composite PMIs also coming out of Britain. And then later this afternoon, PMI. So quite a busy day again. Was quite a heavy fundamental week. Quite a lot of fundamentals this week. And yeah, AB party, morning from Cape Town. Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys. So we have got Eurozone and British pound on radar this morning, and then later this afternoon we've got PMIs coming out, so that is something that we do need to note. I don't know why it's not showing the economic calendar here at the bottom, but that is fine. We'll just be aware of that. But DXY weekly analysis playing out beautifully. We have yet to come and fill this wick right there, but if you look left with me, we have basically retested this area right here. So looking left, that is the area that we previously found resistance in, and now again we have found some type of resistance. Massive bottom wick on the weekly candle, pushing bullish. Daily time frame, you would actually see that I am bearish on the day for the dollar due to the fact that we had this bullish closure. We failed to close bullish yesterday. This is a potential reversal point in the market. So this daily candle can push all the way up even to the weekly R1 again, and then flip bearish. And what would be very good for bearish continuation next week is if we can close bearish like this today. That would make it very easy on Monday to continuously look for sells. But other than that, if we close bullish again today, then Monday is quite straightforward. This little structure there that we have formed on the daily, we're going to break that, close above, we can target that wick for next week. But let's see, I am tilted to the downside. Lower time frames, 5 minute. What do we have right here? So nice little Asian range. Currently trading entire Asian session also around this daily pivot. So this is going to be the key for the day. I do think if we can do something like this, we can see further downside momentum. Also remember, Fridays usually tend to provide some sort of a pullback, and we are trading very close to the weekly highs on DXY. So I am tilted towards looking for potential pullbacks as it is Friday, so keep that in mind. But also, due to the fact that we are so bullish, I'm not negating the fact that we can do something like this and go and retest the weekly R1. So just be very adaptive with me here today on DXY. US 30 weekly time frame, we mentioned that we are bearish due to the fact that we failed to close above this previous area of resistance. You can see that weekly candle rejected that area again, flipped bearish, now currently trading below this level right here. And also, as I've mentioned, if we close weekly bearish on the weekly below this level, then the bulls are in serious trouble, because then all of this is a fake out. Let me just show you all of this price action above here. All of that is a fake out, and next week we will continue with the bearish trend. Daily time frame, let's quickly look at where we are on the daily. So daily closed bearish below this level, but this morning when I did my morning prep, I was looking at all the way through to this year, and for the most part, the most down days we've had was here. Let me just show you guys this section here. This was 6 consecutive down days without any pullback. Right here also we've had 6 consecutive days, actually almost 7 if you don't consider that candle. So I'm just looking at it from a probabilities perspective. We've had now 6 down days as well, so we could get another down day, and then there's a very high probability for some type of pullback. So I am bearish on the day, but I am keeping in mind that just looking back, that 6, 7, that is basically the extreme we've had in most recent weeks. So keep that in the back of your mind, that we are bearish on the day, but we are also expecting a potential pullback to occur. Maybe not today, maybe Monday the pullback starts, but I'm just being very mindful of that. So for me in this session, I will be monitoring the daily pivot right here, and I would actually consider sells if we do something like this. If we get something like this, I would definitely still consider sells, and then maybe the pullback starts later this afternoon. But this is the scenario for US 30 that I'm looking at. So Asia highs are going to be key for me unless we start pushing up during the open and then come back below the Asia highs, similar to what we had yesterday right here. Remember, I told you guys I want to look for sells below the Asia lows, and we first had to push up, basically messed around a little bit at the Asia highs, then broke Asia lows. For some reason I did not execute on it. I didn't like how it was buttering up to this level. Yeah, I honestly didn't like the feel of that, how we were trying to hold that level, but everything was showing me that it's bearish. The 80 was pointing down, trading below the 200, and then also the break of structure. So it happens. Nothing wrong with it if you don't take a trade. No trade is better than a bad trade. So Asia highs, I'm going to monitor that. Nasdaq, let's go to Nasdaq on the daily and see where we are trading. So Nasdaq actually closing right at this previous level right here. This is the daily time frame. Quite a massive sell-off from all the way from Tuesday. Can we get some type of pullback? Looking back on Nasdaq, let me just show you guys. I think this was the most consecutive down days we've had, looking all the way back to the start of the year right here. 4 consecutive down days on Nasdaq before the pullback. Here again we had 4 consecutive down days on Nasdaq as well before a little pullback. We are now currently sitting at 3 down days. So keep that in mind. Could get another little push down, something similar to what happened here. That was also 3 down days, a little bit of a pop and lock to the downside, and then came back. So I'm bearish on the day, but also considering any potential pullbacks. Again, trading below the daily pivot, trading below the 200 EMA. This is the 5-minute time frame. And what I'll also be looking at is the Asia highs. This is my area of contention. This is the area that I will be monitoring for potential shorts. And then unless we get some type of divergence on the 80 where we start making lower lows, but on the 80 we start making higher highs, I would not be looking for buys as of yet. That is Nasdaq. Let's quickly jump down to USD JPY and see where we are. USD JPY daily. So I am going with a bearish bias on USD JPY, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly why I've got that bias. As you can see, this candle right here, this for me is a breakout candle. And on a breakout, what you want to see is that price will continue away. So yesterday we had this very deep pullback, breaking Wednesday's low, also breaking the high. So while this high is intact, I will be looking for shorting opportunities, because then this area right here will become a potential swing high and we can pull back. And also the other reason is that if you look at this candle right here, this technically becomes a fake out candle. So we broke out, induced a lot of buying, failed to continue higher, and now closed back inside of the range. So could go both ways. Again, while that high is intact, I will look for selling opportunities, because this could also induce selling to that. So it's almost a neutral day for me, but I am leaning towards the bearish side. And we are already trading. Let me just mark this out quickly. This is the current weekly high, and that is a level that we should monitor. So while that level remains respected, I'll be potentially looking for shorting opportunities, but also keeping in mind we need to get back below the 200 on the 80, so can't execute while it's pushing bullish like this. So most probably my point of interest for the day would be below the 148 level and then the daily pivot level. So just keep that in mind. I'm actually going to set some alerts here at 148.46, and we will see what we do at that level if we get there. GBP JPY, so all of the yen pairs pushing bullish. Daily time frame for me is bearish. We were bearish on the weekly. Let me just show you on the weekly time frame. Again, go back to Monday's stream where I did the weekly outlook. I said we are bearish because we broke support right here. Very simple analysis using the weekly time frame. As you can see right there, broke support, closed below this previous area of resistance. First area, wick fill, and then I mentioned this area right here. So this is the area where we can find some potential support down here. Haven't fully tested it yet, but the outlook was given on Monday. Go back to that stream, go check it out. Daily time frame, big down day yesterday. Technically we are bearish on the day. Again, Friday could be the pullback day, could not be any pullback. We'll check it on the lower time frames now. 5 minute, jumping down to my 5 minute time frame. Currently trading above the daily pivot, also accumulation distribution quite heavily bullish. So I would say also trading above the round number right here. So if we can retest Asia highs and hold it, I'll potentially be looking for long positions. I'm going to set some alerts at the Asia highs. 181.943. Let's see if we can maybe grab some longs if we do something like this. Retest it, a little bit of a structure break here, and I will be considering longs. If we can get something like that, I will consider the longs. Gold, absolutely messy. Last week, massive bottom wick. I was bullish on the week due to the fact that we held that level right there. I said we can potentially come and retest this area. Again, go back to Monday's stream. This is not a novelty that we're writing here. This is actual true facts that we're sharing every week, every day for you guys. So I said this will be the level that we can potentially retest into. And for bullish continuations, I would have loved if this candle closed bullish, something like that. We haven't. Coming all the way back down. Could today actually come back to fill that wick? I don't know. If it's going to close like this on the weekly, this is absolutely filthy. Look at that top wick, bottom wick, and literally parks it very close to the weekly open and close from last week. So basically fucking trade is over both sides. Daily time frame, let's check gold on the daily. Yesterday we were bearish. Today again I am bearish due to the fact, if you look left with me, this area right here, this was a previous area of contention. Look left there with me. Also look at this daily candle retesting that level, rejecting. Also multiple rejections from these daily candles. So this area right here, 1926, potential rejection areas. Also just looking at the most recent price structure, we failed to close above this level right here. So I am bearish on the day. We also have the advantage of this wick fill potential to the downside. So let's see, 5 minute time frame. Let's see where we are. Accumulation distribution starting to point up. That's showing me some bullish pressure coming into the market. How can we trade this? What green line is this? Let me just see. I don't know what. Oh, it's that other line I was pulling. Yeah, so if we can clear Asia highs, do something like this and hold it, I do feel we can get some type of deeper pullback into 1930. But if we start failing here at Asia highs and coming back down below the pivot, then I would consider shorts. But it's currently looking ugly, to be honest. GBP USD weekly time frame. We have already met the weekly objective on GBP USD. Daily time frame still bearish. I just want to pull this out for you guys. Just look left with me. The area that we are considering is this area right here. As you can see, previously support areas, but now we've got this little cluster here, which makes it very difficult with this daily candle. And why I say that's difficult, because right here you've got potential support on the daily, and right there you've got the resistance. And yesterday's daily candle closed bearish, but above that level looking left. If you look left with me, right there, so this daily candle closed above, but we do have the potential wick fill. So what could happen on the day is we could trade lower all the way during London, trade lower, break those lows, and then flip bullish at the end of the day, and maybe close weak bullish with a small body right here. So bearish on the day, 5-minute time frame, 80 starting to push bullish, but let's see. So from the looks of it, Asia lows, that's going to be our contention area for potential sells. Also the weekly S2 level. So sells do become tricky this late on a Friday or this late into the week. Would I ever consider buys if we do something like this? If we've got a massive move that clears Asia highs, I would then look for buys from Asia highs and the daily pivot for that pullback to happen on Friday. But other than that, maybe we can target these lows right here if we do get a break below the Asia lows. But as I've mentioned, we are starting to see some type of divergence here on the accumulation distribution. So it's going to be ballsy what we do. 9 minutes to the open. USDs are absolute shit show. I sent in the Discord my outlook and I said we need to either trade away from this 19, almost back at it. Daily time frame, this is a range that we are in. I don't actually want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, so I'm not even going to look at it further. Euro USD also messy. Daily time frame, range, potential support being found here. Daily closed bullish yesterday, even though it's weak bullish. I've got a neutral outlook on Euro USD for the day, because we can start pushing bullish to maybe even do something like this on the day, and we can start pulling back. But this overall market is in a sell mode where it is just creating lower lows, lower highs. 5-minute time frame, let's look at where we are. So currently showing some bullish pressure on the 80, and I would say that if we can retest the daily pivot and hold, we could potentially be looking for some buying opportunities on Euro USD. and then any breaks above Asia high, that is also potential buy opportunities that we can look for to trade it back to the weekly pivot. Other than that, shorts do look a little bit exhausted. German 30, I'm not going to go through, I don't know why it's on the list. That is your rapid analysis. We've got 7 minutes to the open. Is it 8 minutes? 8 minutes to the open. Chad, well done for being here on a Friday. You guys put in the work, joining the streams, taking your trades, joining the Discord. If you have not yet joined the Discord link is in the description of this video. Be sure to check it out. A lot of value being posted in the Discord, and then also IG links, Instagram links in the description as well. And just another thank you to our broker partner Vault Markets for giving us this opportunity and changing the trading community one trade at a time. Anmol Pudel, I bought 150 Apple stock somewhere in August 2020 at 89. Its value is 177. Now was it a almost perfect prediction? Anmol, my brother in Christ, buying Apple. Let's look at Apple. Where the heck is Apple there? I don't even have Apple on there. Oh, I do, but why can't I see it? So you bought Apple at 89. Why did you buy it at 89? You could have just as well put a 200 EMA on your Apple chart, and you could have bought it in 2019 off the 200 EMA weekly EMA. Especially the blue chip stocks, guys, they respect the 200 quite well. J&J, I want to show you this. We bought a couple earlier in the year, also off the 200. So basically, if you look at it, J&J, all the major blue chip stocks, 200 weekly EMA, that is like a magnet for buyers. Not even, you don't even have to be a portfolio manager. It is just a blue chip company. And the 200 EMA, this was COVID. I just marked this out because we had a dip below the 200. But other than that, while price was here, we grabbed some J&J. Another one reaching the 200 EMA, Coca-Cola. If you also go back, again, this was COVID, that was the panic selling, but Coca-Cola as well, going all the way back. This was the global financial crisis right there, where it traded below the 200. And then obviously, I don't know what this era of Coke was, but yeah, it couldn't stay above it. But for the most part, in recent years, the 200 EMA is your friend if you want to go with long-term stocks. And you can also use your weekly pivots. But we are going to get back to day trading. We'll maybe do some more investing stuff a little bit later on. But Chad, how's it going? Friday, good to see all of you guys here. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope the week has been treating you well. Manmat, good morning. Yolandi, good morning. Sean, it is Friday. Markets are about to open. 2 minutes to the opening bell. Quarter past 9, we're going to do the psychology section of the stream. Talk a little bit about the psychology of trading, not just trading, but life in general, and how to overcome the psychology part of it. Billy, good morning. Aram, Edgar, morning my people. Good morning, good morning. I actually need to change this music because this will put us to sleep. Let's check this. TC, Thilo Davids, morning everyone, let's make some peaches. Yeah, correct. Friday, I've been quite quiet on the trades this week. Price either moved too late or it moved before the open. But again, it is FOMC week. Alright guys, trading below the Asia highs. Remember I mentioned, let's see what we do here at the open. I'll potentially look for shorts. I just quickly want to check what the Hang Seng index did overnight. Oh, Hang Seng closing up almost 2%, so we could get some bullish price action coming into our session. Also want to see how the JSE opens up this morning. Alright, JSE open, a little bit of a gap down, already up 0.2% on the day. Let's see if we're gonna get the same follow through as we've got from Asia. So remember guys, you need to think about it. The Asian session, if stocks traded higher there, guys investors, traders will take some optimism from that, and you could potentially see the JSE pushing up today with that Asian flow coming through. So keep that in the back of your mind. Hang Seng closing up almost 1.6% on the day, and then also daily pivot level here for DXY. That's going to be our area that we need to monitor. I'm going to set some alerts at the daily pivot. 105.46 daily pivot level. We want to monitor that, and then oh shit, it's not going to give us the pullback. That's fine. Remember what I said, we can still come to break these lows and then start reversing. So maybe we get the reversal trade at NYSE, but I'll still monitor this Asia highs. Let's set some alerts there if we get back to the Asia highs. 34,132 Asia high. Nasdaq is still flirting here close to the Asia highs. Maybe we grab Nasdaq this morning instead of US 30. USD JPY still below the current weekly high. Pound yen, we're going to wait for that pullback. Gold, as mentioned, Asia highs, area of contention, and then Asia lows on GBP USD. Let's set some alerts right here. Let's see if we can grab GBP USD. Jean-Pierre Malchus, buy Nasdaq now. Damn. Japes. You're right, we should buy it, yeah. No, I can't buy it with... if I want to look for buys, it'll almost probably be if price before NYSE does something like this, pulls back pre-NYSE and then retest that area. But other than that, no buys for me. Shot Jason, appreciate it. Chris, are you in favor of gold buys? Neil, so I actually took a buy last night on gold. Yeah. If you go on the Discord link, you will see we mention if we get some type of structure break here. So I bought gold last night somewhere here at like I think a 30 pip stop. And as soon as we started fluffing on this level, I moved stops to break even, got stopped out at break even. And remember I said, somebody asking me in the Discord, would I want to sell the weekly pivot or buy it? And I said I would want to buy it due to the fact that we have yet to correct this move. If you look at this entire move, we have yet to see any real pullback. So this is from that right there was FOMC. We had this drop down, we had the numbers, or we had Bank of England as well. And also remember, go back to yesterday's stream where I mentioned and I said the European session most probably will follow what the US did. And again, it's not rocket science. This was the North American session of the FOMC. I told you guys that Asia also sold off. Again, if you go watch yesterday's stream, and I said most probably the European session will do exactly as both of these have done, and that is exactly what happened. Because again, think about it this way, you live in Europe, FOMC was the previous night, you get to your desk, you've got the analysts feeding you data, and you start going through it, and then all of a sudden you are not going to go counter trend to what Asia is doing and what the US session was doing. So again, that was very simple. Go through yesterday's stream yesterday morning and see what I mentioned there. It's very, very simple. It is just common sense. Why would the Asian session or the North American session, Asian session all do the same thing? Why would the Europeans now do something different? So Neil, yeah, it is. I am leaning towards the buy side due to the fact that we can, if you mark it out 1930, that's the 50% correction of this move down. So 38.2, that's the one level, and then the 50, and then even potentially deeper back to the weekly R1. Also bought gold on that level, took profit at 8 o'clock this morning. Nice run. Very nice. Also, one of the reasons for that was that we were trading above the accumulation distribution last night, and we had some divergence. So I bought GBP USD yesterday afternoon. I actually missed my entry. We had load shedding at the office. I would have taken my entry on this candle right here, but I missed it. That would have been my entry there, because that's a valid break of structure. Go check in the Discord link all of the entry drills I've posted there. So that would have been my entry. The accumulation distribution was diverging. As you can see, price was making lower lows, but the 80 was making higher highs. So I caught it late. I caught my buys here on the close of that candle, 15 pip stop. And then I mentioned also in the Discord chat that if we hold this weekly S2, I'll look for re-entries. And as this candle closed, the next candle literally within a second already popped up like 3-4 pips. And I thought, I'm not going to chase it. But the idea was there, got clipped by 5 or 6 pips. And I also mentioned that yesterday's Asia low was my target right there. And I said, if you can regain the Asia low, trade back inside of it, you can have yourself a runner to the upside. Again, we failed at Asia lows yesterday, but even if you took it here, I think this was a 33 pip trade, 30 pip, so almost a 1 to 2. What time frame are you using? What time frame are you in? 5 minutes. So always, guys, if you come on here, always the 5-minute time frame. That is the time frame I execute on. Only when I do my analysis, I do the top-down analysis from the weekly down to the daily, down to the 5-minute, but I execute on the 5-minute. So you wouldn't see me on another time frame other than the 5-minute. 9:15, I'm going to see where we are, if we can get some entries. While we then wait for our setups, we're going to do the psychology section, and then I will ask Mo to set up the camera here so we can record that for the socials, and we'll also have a little bit of a Q&A section on that. So stay tuned for the psychology section coming up in about 5 minutes. Ruan, hoe gaan het met die trading, my vriend? Laat weet my bietjie hoe gaan het. Help die streams. Help die Discord community. Guys, Mo here in the office told me the new trend is streetwear, and I asked my wife to get me some streetwear, and then she got me Johnson workwear.
That's the wrong street, brother.
So it went from streetwear to Johnson workwear. But I'm just fucking with you guys. It is Heritage Day. And I've got this when we go hunting, and I thought I'll just wear this. I would have loved to have one of those African shirts. If you know where to get some of them, I would love to get that. But yeah, streetwear, gone to workwear. And Ruan, I think I can join you on site today. Guys will definitely think that I am back into construction. Dit gaan so nie sleg nie, maar ook nie goed nie. Ruan, make sure to journal your trades. Go through all of your trades, go back and see what you did wrong or what you did not do wrong, because a lot of times you can have a break-even week. For instance, I'm on a break-even week, and it's not about doing something wrong. That is part of what we're going to talk about. Is you will have weeks where you follow your plan and you are not profitable, and don't stress. If you go back and you see that you followed your plan to the T and you came out break even or came out with a loss, that's perfectly fine. That should not stress you out. What should stress you out is if you did not follow your plan and you were taking losses. So maar Ruan, kom maak weer 'n draai by die kantoor volgende week. Ons kan 'n bietjie sit. Journal your trades, dat ons deur jou trades gaan. And what I mean about journal, guys, is let's say for instance, it is one thing like actually journaling the stats, but how I journal my trades is literally, and let me maybe give you guys an example of it. So let's go to yesterday's GBP USD trade. So this is how I journal my trades. Let me remove this. I'm just going to move this up quickly. And this is also how you should be journaling. GBP USD crossing Asia lows. Okay, let's maybe just wait a couple of minutes because we can potentially get into some trades right here. Pound yen crossing Asia highs. DXY, massive pop from that daily. You see, that's why I wait for the 15-minute shuffle. Pound yen coming back. Let's see what we do at this level right here. Gold. Oh, massive pop to the upside. Very nice. Ranyuk maybe closed a little bit early, but that is also fine. Guys, get ready on GBP USD. GBP USD, I want to see if we can pull back something like this up to this level right here and leave a bottom wick. I'm gonna wait for the top wick enter on the flip, but if we just close on the low, no trade for me. Let's see, 3 minutes. I would want to see us pull back to this level right there, leave a massive bottom wick. We can maybe get a very quick trade this morning, in and out. I will start taking my journey to the next step next week. I have to be honest, I've been lacking on that section in my trading the last 2 weeks. I will use this weekend to set some goals and discipline. Ruan, journaling should be easy because you shouldn't be machine gunning. So technically you should be taking like 2 to 3 trades a week, quality trades. And that is a lot of times something that you as a trader, you are a good trader, you're just machine gunning it. So if you just take out all of the B, C grade trades and you only take your A plus trades, you will see that less is actually more. And then your journaling becomes easy because you're journaling 3 trades a week. It's the PMIs, Sean. And we've got some PMIs coming in the next 12 minutes. This was the French PMIs and the Spanish GDP that came out. PMIs lower than expected, so that's not necessarily good for the economy in France. And then in 11 minutes, the German zone PMIs as well. Alright, 1 minute. Let's see if we can pull back. I want a big bottom wick. I'm not going to trade that tiny little wick. Pound yen. Let's see what we do at this level right here. I'm looking for some type of structure break. If you go on the Discord, let me just show you guys what I'm referring to. If we get any one of these, let me just copy this. Again, guys, all of this free in the Discord. So if we get any type of structure break like this, the engulfing candle, I'm not a big fan of. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I like a structure break. So these two are your higher probability ones. This one is a higher risk reversal trade buy. But if we can get some type, that's why I like to trade off a structure. Last night on gold as well, I mentioned to the guys, if we get some type of structure break here at the weekly pivot, I'll be looking for longs, and there we had the structure break to the upside. So I like a little structure break. It just shows me there's intent in the market. Right, this closing on the low, no trade for me. DXY bumping to the upside, Nasdaq back at the highs. USD JPY, let's see. Again, as mentioned, if that weekly candle high stays intact, I'll still be looking short. Right, let's get back to the journaling. Let's wait for the market to play out a bit and we'll get back to that. But what I want to show you guys is how I journal my trades. So for instance, yesterday, this was the Asia high, that was the low. And let me just get the 80 back in line. So I took my trade on that break. I would basically do something like this. I would have targeted this area here, the weekly S1. And then what I do is, firstly, I just take a note, increase the size, and I do this trade idea. And I basically write down my thoughts. So firstly, we have had no pullback after FOMC and BOE rate decision failed to drive price lower. We are also trading at the weekly S2 level. $80 started diverging. and then that is my idea. I'll put it somewhere on the chart. If you want to make it look nice, you can put a border on there as well. And then what I would do is I would then basically do something like this. Structure break. I'll put like a little arrow there. That was my entry. Trade idea. Entry criteria. And I'm showing you guys this now. You can do it. Entry criteria or entry setup. Structure break. And then I would have the result or the trade management. So for all of that, I would then have the trade management. So for instance, let's say I took 90% off at a certain level, I would note it here. But in this case, so in the case where I take partials, I would then, for instance, state here I took, let's say, 90% off at, say, 15 pips. And I would state why I did that, because it was trading at the Asia lows or whatever, or the round number, and I left the runner. But this is how I journal. And then what I do is, after that, I basically bring everything into context here. You can leave it like that, and here on the right hand side, top right of your screen on TradingView, it looks like a camera, and I literally download the image. And then once it's downloaded, I save it into a folder. So I've got weekly folders, I've got monthly folders, and then I can actually go back on the trade, visually see it. I can see what my idea was. I can see whether it played out, how I managed it, and all of that. So that is how you journal. You basically write down your thoughts, how you managed the trade, how you felt through the trade. As simple as that. As the trade is done, you journal it, you save it, you pop it in the folder, and after the week you can go back to those trades and look at what you could have done differently. Was it outside of your framework? And yeah, that is the easiest way. Like, the Excel journal thing is cool, but the visual journaling, actually seeing the trade, seeing what you were looking for, how you managed the trade, how you felt through the trade, all of that is also important. So hey mate, why gold is pop up like this? I think no news for, yeah, I want to signal your shot. All right, so remember, gold is a safe haven. These numbers that came out of France were bad, so that's obviously risk off for the market. So people flee to the safe haven. But also not just that, from a technical perspective, as mentioned at the start of the streams, we have yet to correct any of this. So we could be in secondary market structure where we are now correcting this downside move to then continue down next week, or potentially continue up. But gold is a safe haven, and if there is potential economic risks in the market, people will flee to gold. GJ trading under pivot, looking short, break of the lows. Sean, you caught the GJ sells yesterday, but in this case you're trading up against the moving average right there. Your 80 is relatively bullish. I would say if you want to do that, that is not something I would do, but at least wait for like some type of retest on the daily pivot. Wait for a break of structure, but not a trade I would take. Order flow before this, Asia was bullish. We consolidated, we made a session high. I am not in favor of that. There's not a site I'm looking at, JC. I'm looking at the data, and I know that the data does not look good. So what is that going to do to investor sentiment? It is purely, how would you feel if the South African economy is not doing good? What would your sentiment be on the South African economy? Or let's say there's riots and this and that, and things are looking bleak, your sentiment would be affected. So same with data. Investors, institutions all use data. But Sean, yeah, not a trade personally according to my framework, but feel free to hit it if you How would you suggest crafting your own strat? Silent, it all comes down to what it is you're trading. So for me, when it comes to a strategy, there's two things that you need to consider. Are you going to follow the trend, or are you going to fade? And when I mean fade, it is basically you're trying to trade extremes. So let's say the market pushes up heavily to the upside, and you are then trying to basically, let's say the market did this like parabolic move, and you now want to try and catch the pullback. So that's the first thing you need to tell yourself when you develop your strategy. Let's maybe do this while we wait. So first two things you need to consider: are you going with the trend, or are you going to fade, counter trend? Secondly, what pairs are you going to trade? That has got a massive effect as well on your trading strategy, because obviously gold, the highest volume is during COMEX, that is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Open. That is I think 20 past 2 in the afternoon, so most of the volume comes during that time. Second thing that you need to do is your time frames. On what time frames are you going to be taking your trades? And then your entry model is most probably the most important one. How do you enter at the level that you've got marked out? So entry model, do you wait for some type of moving average to cross? I'm not saying you should trade moving averages crossing and shit, but what is your entry model? So our entry model in the Discord is very simple. We've got 4 flashcards, and those 4, let me actually bring them across. These are all of my entry drills. So for continuation buys, I look for something simple like this. For reversal buys, I look for that to happen before I enter. For continuation sells, this is ideally what I'm looking for: bearish engulfing or a break of structure lower. And then for reversal trade sells, similar to the reversal trade buys. So that is my entry drill. If I don't see that at my level, I don't enter. I don't just enter off 2 5-minute candles or anything weird. And then obviously my strategy, I've got 3 levels I monitor every day for entries: my Asia high, my Asia low, my daily pivot. And then after I've entered my trades, how do I manage them? I know that if we are trading from a daily pivot, the next probable target will be the R1, and I would try and trade as close as possible to the daily pivot if I'm looking for buys, to try and extend the trade up to the R1. That's the low hanging fruit. That's the higher probability trade. And then also in terms of your strat, how do you manage your trade management? That's where most of the guys fail as well. You get good entries, you sit in the trade for too long, you take too little off the trade. I've basically told myself 1-to-1s, I've seen it work. 1-to-1 risk to reward, I take 90% off. I leave a little runner. For most part, I'll just take 100% off at 1-to-1. But this I've seen to work. I've got zero FOMO if the trade runs 400 pips. That's not my goal. But ultimately, look at the 30-minute also for Juju, massive bear. So I'm waiting for break of the lows on the 5-minute. Sean, like I said, it is fine. Massive bearish engulfing. No bottom wick on this 30-minute. Good work, but for me, I'm personally not looking for sells. If I'm looking for sells, I'll be looking for something like this maybe. And then a pullback back to this level right here. And then I'll sell, but I would not sell this. But that is just me. You caught a nice trade yesterday that I didn't catch, so back yourself. Remember, I'm just sharing my trades. We're gonna wait here. Mo, let me just get Mo's attention so that we can start the psychology section while we wait for our trades. I think mostly when the XY are going to the north, gold will melting. Not always, radio check. That is not always the case with gold. There's been a lot of times where gold and the dollar rallied together. So the correlations do diverge sometimes. Alright guys, so we're going to start the psychology section. We'll keep an eye on the market as we go, so don't stress. We're not going to miss out on any trades. But I do feel we need to talk a little bit about the psychology part of trading. And talking on psychology, the first thing I do want to talk about is what you can control and what you cannot control. And this is not just in terms of trading the markets, this is just in general in life as well. I'm just going to ask Mo, can you bring that 5-liter water? And then also just sorry guys, I've been talking so much and I've got no water. And will you decant it for me in the glass? Yeah, when you bring the 5-liter, I'll appreciate it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to psychology is control. And who can agree with me that if you do not have control over something, you feel uncomfortable. And when you are in control of a situation or in anything in general, you feel a lot better, or you feel a lot better about the situation when you've got control over it. But here's the thing, write down, if you can tell me 10 things you really have control of every day as you wake up. That is a lot. If you think about it, you can't control the weather, you can't control the temperature outside, you cannot control the driver that is driving across from you while you're on your way to work, you cannot control your spouse, you cannot control the people around you that you work with, you can't control the markets, you can't control the country, you can't control the narrative of people. So there's very little that you do have control of. So once you realize and you get comfortable with the fact that you cannot control everything, that is the first step in letting go of that thing of I need to know, or I need to be in control of where the market is going. You are not going to be in control. The only thing you can control when it comes to trading, thanks Mo, is how you enter your trade, how you manage your trade, and how much risk you put on the table. The rest of it is out of your control. And you need to be comfortable with the fact that you cannot control the outcome of the market's movements, but you can control how you feel about it. And when it comes to the probability of trading and the probability of life, is that if there's a probability for you to potentially make a winning trade, you can still go for it. You shouldn't be afraid because your narrative is that I've only been losing, so I'm not going to enter the trade. And this again comes back to the psychology of data analysis. So if you've done enough journaling, you've seen enough wins, you're going to build that confidence to be like, I can take this trade. I have won 40 out of 60 trades using this exact same method. I'm not going to overthink it. I've seen it play out. I'm comfortable taking this trade. But the problem with that part of the psychology is that you haven't seen enough trade setups play out, and you are not consistent in taking that same setup. So as soon as you take 1 or 2 losses on a setup, you start tweaking it, you start doing something different. So your setup criteria is never the same. Your trading time when you trade is never the same. Your risk per trade is never the same. You're trading on one lot, then you're trading a 0.25, then you're trading 2.015s. So all of that is continuously changing, and that's what's creating that anxiety and fear in your trading, because there's no middle ground in what you are doing. But as soon as you find that middle ground of consistency, and again, I always talk about it, not consistency like profitability. I'm talking about consistency where when you sit down in front of your chart, you know exactly what you're doing, because it's a consistent process every single day. Every single day you're following exactly the same steps. Your trade setups are exactly the same across the board. You know exactly what to look for, when to look for it. And once you've got that, it brings calm to your mind. But if you don't have that, your mind is all over the place. You're looking at 500 pairs. It's maybe like 8:15. You just got to work. You have your first coffee. You want to enter a trade. Do I enter it? I can't enter it. There's so much chaos in your mind, and you need to bring all of that into order. Because once you've got a plan, and once there is order in what you're doing, that relieves the anxiety. And I've also mentioned again, if you think about to your first job you had, you were nervous when you got there, you didn't really know what to expect. You didn't maybe even know how to do the job correctly, but once you settled into the position and once you actually knew what was expected of you and you knew how to produce work for the company, for whoever is on the project, then all of a sudden your confidence started building and you were comfortable in that position. And again, it's the same with trading. If you don't have that confidence in your ability in what you are doing, it's basically the fact that you have not seen enough success or you have not seen enough trades play out in your favor. And it's nothing really to do with more knowledge or you need more information. It's purely to do with the fact that everything in your life when it comes to trading is chaotic. There's nothing set out in stone. Every day it's a different pair, it's a different strategy, it's a different time frame. You're hopping from this strategy to that strategy. So that is in essence the main thing when it comes to fear. And you can agree with me. I don't know, what I said, is it true? Are you hopping between strategies? Are you taking trades every day at a different time? Maybe you open up your phone, you have a quick look at a pair and you feel that this is a good trade. You jump in, you get clapped, you're discouraged, you come back tomorrow morning. This is the day that I'm going to follow my plan, this and that. You get sidetracked again. You see this YouTube streamer, this guy on Telegram posting this guy's trading this instrument. How many of you can agree that is one of the things that is lacking? And feel free to ask questions around the psychology section that we're doing. But I feel that is where most of the trouble comes in, things being way too chaotic. The thing is with my mind is I like to put things in boxes. I don't know if it's like an engineering thing, but as engineers, we love processes. I love to have things like in boxes, in processes. So that's why I struggled with trading, because trading is a little bit chaotic. And I had to almost force my trading process into little boxes that I can follow and tick off, because that's how my mind works. My mind wants to finish the one thing, go on to the next, and I want to know how all of these boxes basically intertwine with one another. So that is why I struggled for a long time, because I wanted to put the market in a box, and I can't box the market, that's the thing. But what I can box is all of my processes, how I go about my morning routine, how I go about my trade setups, when I trade, my entry drills, all of that. So I can have these little boxes in terms of my process, but I cannot box the market. The market is not going to give me exactly. So visually, I struggled a lot because I wanted the perfect way for the market to set up. I wanted the market to do this and then that, and then I buy there, and if it doesn't go like this, I don't enter. And that made me struggle for quite a number of years, knowing or trying to comprehend or accept the fact that the market is not going to give me exactly what I want. And again, that comes from engineering, where you need to be very precise. Everything is worked out to the T. There's like very rigid parameters that you work within, and the market is not like that. So I did struggle with the fact that it is chaotic. Yolandi Stewart, I see you laughing there. Does that sound like you? Guys, and feel free to ask your questions, what it is you're struggling with. But again, the big thing is about control, and we control very little. Leslie Constable, goeiemôre my vriend. JC Visser, what site do you use to look at the trading sentiment? Hussein, I don't know if you missed it, but I said I don't look at any site, I look at the data. Control plays a big role. You really hit the nail on the head. Yeah, Bron. The thing is, as human beings, we feel uncomfortable when we don't have control over a situation. And everything we do in life, we want to be in control of our work environment, of the work we produce. And then it's the complete opposite when you get to trading and you come and sit here at your desk and the markets are moving, it's fast paced and you can't control where the market is going. So it basically challenges our narrative of that control aspect of it. So Chris, I think Hussein is asking what website you're looking at for the news. Oh, it's FX Street, Hussein. You can also use Forex Factory. Forex Factory though, Forex Factory looks a little bit MS-DOS to me. I don't know, it looks so unpolished. Like I'm looking at an old school, I don't know, visually it's not appealing to me, but you can look at them as well. FX Street just looks a little bit more polished. Currently I'm following only one strategy, but still struggling a lot because I know I need guidance still, but I trade with small amounts to build my confidence. Here's the other thing that a lot of times we also don't realize, and I don't know if JP's still on here, a very good friend of mine. So we actually talked about it, trading small amounts of capital. So there's two things psychologically that happen. I'm going to talk about small and big. So let's talk about a small account. Let's talk about a big account. So here's the two downfalls. Small and big. So when you trade a small account, the downfall is you're always going to technically gamble with it because you are very comfortable in losing that amount. So when you trade, you'll sometimes take a shitty trade because it's like the money I put in there, I'm willing to lose it. I'm not too phased about it, so it doesn't really faze me. The other thing is also you get discouraged because you're making small gains and you feel like you're not getting anywhere, but if you work out the percentage, you could be making 30% a month. But now it looks relatively small, so you get discouraged. You feel like you should be flipping accounts to 400, 500%. But again, that's not trading, that's gambling. The flip side of the coin is once you've got a big account, and I've been there as well, now you start to almost want to protect those funds. So now you're almost scared of taking trades, because you've got this nice big amount and you don't want to see that amount disappear. So now you become very protective around the big account. Every trade you take, you feel like it needs to be a win. I cannot take a loss on this big account. I'm rather going to stay out, see if the trade plays out. And at the end of the day, you don't take a lot of trades. And you get FOMO because the trades you should have been taking, you don't take. And then the trades you do take, you end up losing. So it's this fucked up cycle of taking losses, that death loop. So there's a flip side between the two. The big thing is if you can mentally comprehend that big or small, it is all about the process and all about the RR, what are you making per trade? Because from here you can scale however big account you want, because the process never changes from a small account to a big account. People think that having a big account is going to make them a better trader. That is not the case. People think trading a small account is going to remove pressure. It's going to remove pressure from your trading, but it's also going to make you do stupid shit because you actually have a gambler's mindset. You've already, once you deposited that small amount, you've already technically accepted the fact that you are going to blow that account up. So without you even knowing it, subconsciously, you deposited a small amount and you're like, right, I deposited this amount, I'm ready to part with it. And even if you make money on it, you're not going to withdraw it because it's such a small amount. So that is why that small account will never see the light. You send that small account, you nuke it, you send it down the drain, and Chris, what advice would you have for someone who has no problem trading small accounts, but when scaling up to losing confidence and fear of losing? Very good question, Jeven. Again, I feel that it comes down to the process. So if your process is locked down on the small account, all you need to do is do that exact same process with the big account. And what I would actually suggest is on your MT4 terminal, don't put the dollar amount there. You can actually change the profit that you see, not to dollars but points, and purely be so focused on your chart, on your setup, that all you do is you literally execute on your terminal and you look away. You've set your stop loss, you've entered your trade, and all you then do is focus on your trade management. You shouldn't even be looking at the terminal, and you get so zoned in on your chart as to what you want to see happen, and you just manage your trade from there. So Javen, that's what I would say. But also, you can't trade the same risk, for instance, that you do on a 200. So on a 200 you'll maybe be risking 10% per trade. You can't do that with a bigger account. That's where you need to have discipline in saying that I'm going to take 2% risk per trade, because that will also alleviate that fear. Chief just asked Mo to come and wrap this up right here. I think we've got quite a bit of content there. Any questions, guys, before we back up the camera? Not this session, but just the secondary camera we've got here. Any questions before we close the camera off for Mo to go and use the stuff? I'm gonna give it a minute. Now is your time to shine, or forever hold your peace. Guys, any feedback on what we did now? Was it helpful? Please let me know. Did it help you guys? Is your trading floor open for public? It is not open for public, but we do have a trainer in the office. You can book a session with the trainer, but you cannot set up your trading desk here. But you can come into the office. The office is open to the public to come in, but the trading floor in itself is not open to the public. Alright guys, I thank you so much for the psychology section. I do feel that was quite a bit we went through. I do feel that it will help you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope a light bulb went off. I hope you had a aha moment, but we're gonna get back to trading and seeing whether we can enter some trades. Jimmy, yes, it was very helpful. Thanks so much. everything on the streams are helpful, Chris. I'm actually in a lecture right now, but I'm listening to the stream. I really appreciate the feedback, guys. Very positive feedback. And on that note, can we pop up some of the likes? Remember, we don't charge you guys anything. We just charge likes. So feel free to like the streams if you've received some value. And that will also help the algorithm so that more people can benefit from these streams. Neo, thank you for the psychology segment. Always a pleasure, my friend. Edgar, always appreciate your time and experience. Chris, thank you. No, it's a pleasure, Edgar. Because trading is a nasty psychological game. And a lot of you, I feel you are so close to reaching that level of where it's almost like you just need to let go. As weird as it sounds, you just need to let go, because you're currently like that person like hogging something, and as soon as you're gonna let it go, it is gonna make the world of difference. That is where I had to get that mindset, and some of you might have seen it. I know my levels where I want to trade from. I know what I want to see, and if I see it, I'm like a sniper. I just pull the trigger. I'm not overthinking it. And once I'm in the trade, then the work starts with managing the trade, seeing how we develop at certain levels. But other than that, I try and remove the thinking out of it. Always, Chris, information on trading psychology is welcome. I've discovered it about myself. I'm comfortable with a micro account, even if as 50k. Still good with it. Thanks, Chris. This must be an everyday topic, Chris. Yeah, maybe we can do a little bit of psychology every day before the session starts. Because mentally, how I prepare myself for a session, I'm very excited for the session. I know my process. I feel very comfortable following a process. I like routine. So once I know what my routine is, like I feel out of sorts if my routine is broken up. Like I like every day the same thing, same time. That's what gives me comfort. And getting to the chart, my chart layouts are already set up. My biases are determined. My Asia lows and highs are set. The daily pivot. I then do my analysis. I then set some alerts for us, and then we just wait for our setups to play out. Then we literally just sit and wait for our setups to play out, and when that 5 minute or few minutes, that window opens up for us to execute, we don't think, oh, this, that, boom. We literally pull the trigger, we execute, and we go. So would you guys say that you've got fear because you can't replicate previous trades? Or you feel like a previous winning trade was like a luck, like, oh, I was just lucky entering there? Would you say that fear or that psychology is broken down because you don't have the confidence to replicate the same winning trade you had last week, last month, or whenever? Because a lot of times for me in trading, that was the case where I would be like, flip, I caught such a nice winning trade. But in essence, I'm not confident that I can reproduce that same trade again. Because I've got so much stuff in my mind, so many strategies, so much information that when I get to the chart, I've got so much that my mind's trying to calculate. I've got this, I've got that. Price is moving here. Technically using that strategy to sell, but now there's an order block and I'm actually bearish, but we add an order block. Do we break the order block? And then all of a sudden 20 minutes goes by and you're just frustrated and you didn't take a trade. Alright guys, this would have been an entry, but we were doing a lot of educational stuff and that's also fine. Again, as mentioned, sells from the Asia high. This is an entry model as well. This is not one that I necessarily like, but this is the entry model right here. Let me show you guys. That is the entry model right there at the pivot or the Asia highs. Let's just see why it is loading like this. There's the engulfing. You could have entered right there. Again, remember when using the entry drills, Asia high, Asia low, I also consider a pivot point. Nasdaq we can maybe catch. I want to wait and see if we can form a bullish candle here and then break off structure. So I'll be monitoring Nasdaq first for potential shorts. And then GJ, I am very interested in longs. So again, go back to the start of the session. I said once we get a retest of this level right here, I want to potentially look for longs. Only thing is we've got this round number right here, and looking left, sliced through that yesterday. Just want to go a little bit further left and see how we reacted off that level. Alright, so previously this was August. See, as soon as we closed above 80 above, we started pushing bullish. So 182, let's see if we can get some type of structure break above here, and then I will be executing longs. Other than that, if we are going to go short on the day, I would need to see price doing something like this, and I will wait for the pullback. Can we use Vault account on TradingView beginner? Not yet, but coming very soon. That's all I'm going to say. We are busy with TradingView, so we've sent in the forms, and very soon Vault markets will be available on TradingView as well. Fear is my biggest challenge, being the reason I resorted to micro, but Chris, I might be wrong, correct me if so. Vault micro is just like trading XNES standard. This is actually going to sound terrible. I've never traded the Vault micro account. All I know is that the contract sizes are different. So let me actually open up my terminal here. Just to show you guys. So on a standard account, you've got, let's look at US30 quickly. Is this all okay? US30. So if you go on your phone or on your PC, go to specification and go to contract size. So on a standard one, for every one lot you open, that's 100 contracts on Dow. So every point that it moves will then go $100 in your favor or against you. And I think the micro is 10, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Sometimes even adding positions, just hoping it's going to turn around, because look at my confluences should go there. I just really hate losing. That's the issue right there, Albert. You need to get comfortable with losing. So very good book I've read from Tom Hogard. Maybe I'll do a book giveaway. Tom Hogard, Best Loser Wins. Very, very good book on psychology. Very good book. Not a big book, but where Tom also talks about the psychology of losing and winning. You have to get comfortable with losing. Chris, how do you manage fear and anxiety when facing losses before taking it? I don't have fear or anxiety, Jevon. So again, everything is calculated. I control my risk, so I already know what I'm willing to lose on the trade. I'm not going to stack. I know exactly what my stop loss is. All of you guys know already. Yen pairs 20 pips, majors 15 pips. Indices 40 points on US30, 30 points on NAS, so I know exactly what I'm willing to lose. Then when I see my setup, I just need to execute, and then when I execute, I just need to basically manage my trade. And then the trade management is also relatively simple, and I know where I want to take profit and where I want to exit. Why don't you trade with IFX brokers anymore? I don't know who IFX brokers are. No, I'm kidding. No, dude, I've traded with them once or twice in the past, but yeah, not for me. The Mental Game of Trading is a good book to read as well. Mental Game of Trading. Let me just pull this to the one side. Thanks for saying. I'll check it out. Mental Game of Trading looks good. Lekker JB. Yeah, again guys, we're not here to compete with any broker. When it comes to choosing a broker, that's your decision. That is not, we're not trying to sell you a broker. We just partnered with the broker. And again, like I've mentioned, there's no other broker giving out all of this information. trying to, and this is not, so I'm not trying to sell them. I don't work for Vault Markets. I work with them on various projects, but one of the things that we discussed in terms of what we want to do with the community was, and this is where I honestly felt like this is different to other brokers, was where it was, how do we help the community? How do we provide more education? How do we provide more a sense of you're not just using the broker, but the broker is actually a platform for you where you can learn and you can trust. And that was one of the things. And I said, look, why don't we do a live stream every day? Clients can come on here from other demographics, other broker users, and we provide as much value as we can for free, not trying to churn trading accounts and sign up before you can join the live stream, but actually showing that as a broker we care about the trading community. So no other broker is doing it. Show me any other broker that's got a live stream giving out education every morning, same time, same place. So big ups to Vault Markets for doing that. Alright guys, Nasdaq, I'm going to set some alerts, Asia highs. If we start breaking below there, I'm going to try and see if we can get some type of short into the market. Very similar price movement that we've got from yesterday. I don't know if you guys remember. Yesterday we first pushed up. So 9 o'clock, 9:40, around about 10 o'clock we started peaking. And then we started breaking lower around about 10:30. So could we get the same sequence of events here as well? Get that break. US 30 already trading or testing the Asia lows. So let's see. Nasdaq, I'm gonna run to the toilet quick. I haven't taken a wee in a while. I do appreciate all of you guys on the streams. And Monday to Friday, follow us on Instagram. Be sure to join the Discord link in the description, and I will see you guys in a minute, and we're gonna see if we can execute some shorts on Nasdaq and potentially some longs on GJ. That's currently what I'm looking at. Other than that, market relatively flat, but Nasdaq, let's see. Maybe we can kill these shorts going into NYSE. Again, guys, just check the description, disclaimer as well. We haven't gone through the disclaimer today. These streams are purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. This should not be construed as financial advice. Please seek financial advice from your financial advisor before making any financial decisions. You will lose money if you follow me on the stream, what I do. And with that being said, good luck, and let's see what we've got in the markets. Apologies, I'm eating these little tennis biscuits. GJ going for another retest of the daily pivot. Let's see, I'm still leaning long once we break above 182. Nasdaq as well breaks below Asia high. And then guys, we are very close to 1,000 subscribers, so giveaway coming very soon. Who will we be flying out to Port Elizabeth to join us for the day on the floor? As mentioned, going to give away a 500k funded account. And you will be spending the day with us. Let me actually quickly see how far we are away from 1,000. $30 more subscribers and we are gonna do the giveaway most probably next week or the week thereafter, just to give everybody the opportunity to enter. And what we're actually gonna do is we'll do the draw live on stream. I'll just see how I do it, because obviously with Poppy and all of that I can't give personal information out, but I'll see how we do it. Ruben, you don't have to deposit, but ideally we want to support the broker because Vault is giving us this opportunity to do all of this. So I'm not saying or forcing you to use Vault or deposit, but ultimately support the broker that supports you. Ruben, I'm gonna post something next week in terms of that giveaway. So I will let you guys know. I'll actually get Mo to create a banner as well for the stream, so don't stress. Cosmic Rue asking me about IFX brokers. Are you an agent for IFX? Lurking on the Vault Market stream. Seeing what the other brokers do. That's the weird thing about the broker industry, is that other brokers watch your every move, what you are doing next. So you'll most probably see other brokers also trying to live stream in coming weeks, but anyway. Keegan back on Monday. Caitlin competing in Johannesburg. They'll be back on Monday. I'm no agent. No, I'm just kidding. I think I used IFX once or twice in the past, but yeah, let me not go into that. Guys, have you found these streams to be helpful when it comes to your trading? Even just the daily bias. I know for a lot of you, it's just even helped with that. Like, you can trade, but you weren't always sure about your daily bias. Have these streams actually been helpful? Or are you just on here to hear me say the word fuck every now and again? Laughed my ass off yesterday at you, Chris. Why? What did I do? What did I do yesterday? What's happening? Talk to me. Yeah, for some of you that don't know me yet, I am quite serious when it comes to my work and what I do, but also I also have a fun side as well. So life is way too short to be so serious all the time. So I like to crack a joke now and then. But Silent, what did I do for you laughing at me yesterday? Die week het ek meer geleer as wat ek die afgelope jare het in trading. Groot plesier, man. Neil, so as I mentioned with GU, we're so close to the weekly S2 and so close to the weekly low. Like it's just the probability of Friday providing some type of pullback, so that's why I didn't consider it. I'll rather wait. And also, as you can see, the AD is starting to look a little bit bullish. So like I mentioned, it can still go down, but it's just my thing of probabilities. Like we've already declined so far into the week. GJ melted. GJ is technically 25 pips away from the open. I'm still looking long, guys, just letting you know, while we hold this pivot and once we get above 182. PMI is relatively mixed out of Britain, so interesting. Let's see. Could melt. I'm not looking short. My other comments aren't coming through because I'm swearing. When you were talking about the sensitive people. Okay. I've personally learned so much over the last 3 weeks from this daily stream. Most importantly, to be somehow surrounded with people with the same goal. Trading can be a lonely game and it helps to see we all in this together. Yes, definitely. UJ buys if we can break that consolidation. Nila, why would you be buying literally at the current weekly high and at the R1? That is very naughty, Nila. And at the half round number. No, I wouldn't look for buys. This thing can run another 100 pips. Like if I want to buy it, I want to buy it somewhere here or even Asia highs, but not there. Wat sê jy van gold? Ek sê maar niks van gold nie, want hy sal vir jou bliksem as jy te veel praat. Gold sal vir jou tokkel. No, I'm kidding. Gold, as mentioned, do you think we can pull back to 1930? I said I'll be looking for buys if we can hold Asia highs, but yeah, not on my radar now. I play sell stops with GJ at the low, so I'm stuck in GJ shorts. Could play out, Sean. If this 5-minute close is bearish, I would say watch this wick fill, and then I would, on that wick fill, go break even. I don't know where your sell stops were, but I am still relatively looking for buys, even though the daily bias is bearish. Nasdaq, are we gonna get buys above the daily pivot? I don't know, let's see. All or nothing, Neil. Yes, go for it, man. Full margin, breaks above that high. Let me know how it goes. Alright, Sean, you would need this wick fill to play out. And then if it runs through that, you can retest Asia lows because we've already taken Asia highs. But not a trade I'm looking for that fits my parameters. Weirdly enough, I think if G can break the weekly low and we find some support here, I'm actually going to look for buys. I'm just letting you know. If we can do something like this and then we start trading back here, I'm going to be looking for buys for that end of week pullback. Reason I say that is see how the AD is since last night or since yesterday afternoon. It's been trading above the 200 and now we're basically consolidating around the 200 year above and below. And I do feel if we get the same type of divergence we got here yesterday, that's going to be a high probable buy. Entry at 181.71.5. Alright, Sean. Here's your wick fill. Either gonna flush below here or it's gonna do something like this and come back up. Industry's just ranging. Mark your Asia low levels like that. Silent, should I mark my Asia levels like this? Anthony, where did you buy gold? If you were in the Discord, link is in the description, you would have been buying gold from here yesterday. And not here. If you bought the breakout here of the Asia range, that's a relatively good buy. You already had like I think a $3 move. Yeah, almost $3. But buying it here, you're buying it in the middle of nowhere. Silent. So what I do is I just use this rate tool I've already saved the template. Right click on it and Asia high, and then I just move it where I want. This little box is an indicator. I don't know what the name is. I can't find it again here. It's kill zone something. I think it's this one, Asia range and kill zones. So this gives me the Asia range. Let's see if we can get a trade today. Markets are just messing around. $29 subs to 1,000. Massive giveaway at 1,000. Mo, I'm still here. I'm just replying to a message. Mo checking up on me. Thank you so much for that, Mo. This is the hard part of trading. We talked about the waiting. And we are still waiting. Who's excited for the funding company launching most probably end of next week? And I think we will be doing a weekly giveaway of a funded account once we launch. Chris, how long have you been trading? I've been trading for almost, what is it? Going on 9 years. I've been full-time for almost 8 years. 2014, what is that? 6, yeah. 9, almost 10 years. Messed around a little bit. And then I must actually get Jean Cordier on here. So Jean is the guy that got me into trading. So that is my stepbrother's brother-in-law. I think he's been trading for almost 15, 16 years. He's a mechanical engineer. And every time I saw him at like an event, he would talk to me about trading. And I'll never forget it when he said, "Do you trade Forex?" And I'm like, "Forex? Yeah." Like, Forex. I'm like, "Dude, is that not the thing you do at the airport?" And he's like, No. And back then he showed me an MT4 screenshot. I think he made like 30k that month. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about making 30k? Like, you're making my monthly salary doing, I don't even know what the hell you're doing. And it shows me this little group, and it's like, no, we're a few friends. There were 7 guys in a group, and some of the guys have fallen off, but he's still going strong. And then I saw him again, and I asked him, and I think he made something like 45 or 50k that month. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna sit around doing private jobs after hours trying to make additional money. And then he basically came one evening to my stepbrother's house, and he showed the both of us, and it's like, at that stage it was all French to me, and I honestly got hooked, because that evening he entered a trade in front of us, and the next morning he sends me this little screenshot. I think he made 18,000 Rand on it, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna really dive deep into this. And that's where I honestly became obsessed with trading, like I've mentioned to you guys on stream. Every waking hour of the day that I had extra, I was reading, I was watching videos. I was just so hungry for more knowledge on it. And yeah, that's where we are now here today. What exactly is a funded account? How does it work? JC, I'm gonna have to be that guy and ask you, do you know how Google works? But I wouldn't. But I'm not gonna explain what a funding account is now. Somebody in the chat, please explain to JC Fisser what a funding account is, or funded account. Google. Yeah, I don't know if I can give it in a short format what a funding account is or a funded account. So I'm not trying to be that guy, JC. It's just I think there's a lot better like short format videos on it that's gonna explain it really well. That is not one of my strong points, explaining things. I can explain trades to you, but other stuff I'm not good at explaining. Ask my wife, that's why I get in so much trouble. Because my explanations are poor. Nasdaq, can we get that break of the Asia highs? I'm going to be executing on the break of the Asia highs. I bought at 19. Dan is waar ek gekoop het. Baie goeie koop my vriend. Ek sal sê jy moes actually profit hier gevat het. As jy by 19 gekoop het. Of jy kan profit hier vat by 1930. Dis 'n baie goeie koop. Anthony Peterson getting in some nice buys at 19,589. Well done, man. I would have loved to be in those same buys. I actually was in those buys a little bit lower. But again, it was late in the evening. I don't want to hold any risk overnight. GBP USD. Are we going to buy the low today? Are we going to get that pullback? I don't know. US 30 TXY. I think the market is absolutely exhausted with everything that's been going on. But I'm definitely going to look for sells below the Asia high if we break that. Otherwise, what I'll be looking for later on today in the session is if we can start pushing bullish on the 80 closer to NYSE and the data out of the US comes out positive, I will be looking for buys at the daily pivot. Again, we have yet to correct any of this, guys. Look at that flush. So yet to correct any of it. We can easily come back to the weekly S1. And then I will be looking for buys above the daily pivot. And I would want to see something like this push through a retest, moving averages starting to do something like this. Your lower time frame moving averages also getting above the 200, and I will strike at that zone this afternoon. Other than that, maybe we retest these weekly lows. We do something like this. We just dip out the guys that have the same idea that we have, and we maybe even buy the Asia lows later. And I will potentially try and swing that all the way up to here. I think that is a 50% retrace. That's not even a 50% off. It's very close to a 50%. So that is the idea. That is what I'm gonna try and look for. But we have gone nowhere, guys. This is literally that's the open right there. We're almost back at the open. We're ranging. Absolutely nothing has happened. US 30 had a nice drop. USD JPY, nothing. Still in that range. GJ, remember I said I'm looking for buys above 182. If we can get back above 182, I'll still consider the buys. Sean Orange, if you were in those sells, remember I mentioned either going to flush through here or you're going to find some support after the wick fill. So obviously next thing for continuation would be a break of structure. Gold, nice little pop at the start, nothing more for me. GU, I'll also be looking for buys. I would love if we can get something like this on GU, break that weekly low and then start holding here. You'll see how we are trading above the 200, trading at the S1. Not a bad idea for buys. Actually gonna set some alerts here. 12236. Let's see if we guys, any pairs you want me to look at? Again, thank you so much for the support, for all of you guys joining in every day, for liking the streams, your contribution in the chat. Even though we have not yet caught a trade, but I really appreciate it. I appreciate the positive energy you guys bring. I appreciate the positivity, the work ethic for the guys that have come day in, day out. It is not always easy sitting here, listening to somebody else, watching the markets, all of that. But you are here. And at the end of the day, even if I drop just a little gem for you that basically makes that light bulb go off, that is a win for me. Still humble beginnings. We are growing. USD Mexican peso. Yes, that is a pair that I don't even have on my watch list. But I've mentioned I've caught some beautiful trades that is actually on my watch list. Damn. USD Mexican peso. What a beast. Back in the day when I was still trading with Cobus Kemp, this was a pair that we traded. USD Mexican peso for Paco Mashape. Hope I didn't mangle that name, but weekly time frame, we can see that we are in a bearish market. We can see that we tried to base out here on the weekly time frame, and I would have technically been bearish on the week due to the fact that we had this bearish, or not, this is not actually a bearish engulfing, but looking left with me. So I would say, Paco, it's quite tricky where we are, because we've now broken out of this range to the upside and we are now testing it. So I would say I would start looking bullish on this market once we get weekly breaks above here. But going down to the daily time frame, let's see where we are. So daily time frame, we had this nice little break of structure from this level, and I would actually be looking bullish on this. So on the day, I would be bullish due to the fact that we had this support area formed. We had this break of structure. Daily time frame, I'm bullish. 5-minute time frame, let's see where we are. So 5 minutes, struggling here at the Asia lows. And then we've got Asia highs all the way up here. Also accumulation distribution still pointing bearish. And I would say I would not be looking for longs while we are below the 200. So I would say safer buys would be if we can get above the Asia highs, because then technically your accumulation distribution would also start pointing up and you can get something like that, but nothing clean. Otherwise you could be looking for sells from these Asia lows, but this is an absolute chop fest here. This has been chopping guys left, right and center. So nothing here for me. NAS is holding that support. Yeah, almost like I said, I'm open to buys. Like I've mentioned at the start of the stream. I'm definitely open to buys due to the fact that on a daily time frame, we've seen that for the most part, 3 days max, we'll get some type of pullback. Definitely open to buys. I just need this accumulation distribution to start pinning a little bit above that 200. Otherwise, I cannot be looking long. But if we are trading somewhere here later, I will share in the Discord as well. Something like this, definitely on radar. Alright, chat, the week has come and gone. I'm gonna unfortunately have to end the stream today at 11. Be sure to join the Discord. I will be sharing my trade this afternoon on there for Nasdaq and US30. I'm still looking for buys on pound yen above here. Just letting you guys know. If we can get back above, I'm not going to try and short. And that is the session, guys. I really appreciate all of you joining. Really appreciate the positive energy, the positive vibes from everybody. And I will see you guys in the Discord. And we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, trade safe, and see you guys in the market.
don't believe in shooting stars, but she believe in shoes and cars. Wood floors in the new apartment, couture from the store's departments. You more like love to start. I'm more of the trips to Florida, order the hors d'oeuvres, views of the water, straight from a page of your favorite author. And and the weather's so breezy. Man, why can't life always be this easy? She in the mirror dancing so sleazy. I get a call like, where are you, Yeezy? And try to hit you with the old wacky till I got flashed by the paparazzi. Damn, these got me. I hate these more than a Nazi.
I know you love to show off, but I never thought that you would take it this far. But what do I know?
Flashing lights.
What do I know?
Flashing lights.
I know it's been a while, sweetheart. We hardly talk. I was doing my thing. I know I was foul, baby, hey, babe, lately you been all on my brain. And if somebody would've told me a month ago, front and oh, yo, I wouldn't wanna know. If somebody would've told me a year ago, it'd go get this difficult. Feeling like Katrina with no FEMA, like Martin with no Gina. Like a flight with no visa, first class with the seat back, I still see ya. In my past, you on the other side of the glass of my memories museum. I'm just saying, hey Mona Lisa, come home. You know you can't roam without Caesar.
I know you love to show off, but I never thought that you would take it this far. But what do I know?
Flashing lights.